Here's a Sketchnote from Webstock 2011. And back in the day, I used to try and do everything at the same time. Capture the sketch notes, colour, do lettering, try to draw portraits of the speakers. It was all go. Calmed down a little bit since then, but these notes still have great value to me as I flick through them today, especially this one here. I really especially enjoyed Merlin Mann's talk, and his quote, "Every man in his life has his reasons," has been very helpful to me over the years. A lot of the work that I do live, I pretty much just use a pen. Sometimes I'm a little bit more organised and have a bit of a logo or some artwork to throw into my sketch notes, but most of the time I'm just using a variety of pen thicknesses to get my hierarchy. I've even been known to use ballpoint. In fact, when I started out at South by Southwest at 2010 with the intention to sketchnote all the talks, I used a fountain pen. Here's Webstock again. This is where I had a real think about what I would use for the Webstock talks and pared myself down to just a few colours and some pen thicknesses. I quite often go to Creative Mornings and they have quite a distinctive logo, and by using that on pages I get a nice consistent look through the sketch pages that I do. I also use Webstock's fantastic graphic designs that they often have in their program, trace it through onto the page and blatantly copy that look, and so it helps me a lot with making my sketch notes a little more graphic than maybe they would otherwise be. Shading with a pen also helps, or cross-hatching. This is a great example of how my memory of what a little troll looks like is quite different from what my pen thinks a troll doll looks like. Here's another Creative Mornings one. Again, I used some of their artwork that they had in their flyer and their program at the function, just traced it through. When I went to listen to a talk on inkers, I did a bit of research about inkers, and I saw that they used circles a lot. So I traced a circle onto the page before this talk started, and then I ended up with a round sketch note. Sometimes it's just ballpoint. Other times when I'm really concentrating and trying very hard, I can be quite tidy, and I'm quite pleased with myself when I am. I do all my sketch notes until recently live. I sort of thought it was cheating to go back and tart them up later, but I've changed my mind as I've got older. Maybe I should put colour on some of these. Here's digital day out drawings. This was when I went through my phase of very thin pen. I liked it at the time, and I no longer like it. I hardly ever use a thin pen. You can see it's quite flimsy and nothing really stands out on the page, and so I don't appreciate that style as much anymore, although I do still carry a thin pen with me when I need to use it for cross-hatching or for something that's a bit lighter in the background. You'll also see through here there are a few mistakes, like upside down triangles and that sort of thing, but I just plough on, just keep going. Don't scribble them out, just draw right over the top of them. You can see here the different thicknesses pen. You get a bit more hierarchy, and it's just a little bit more interesting to look at. More Creative Mornings. Isn't it great when I colour something really dark, like the background of the Creative Mornings logo? It's quite unusual in my work to see that. Here's a talk by Dylan Horrocks, Dylan. Another Creative Morning. I managed to get his likeness, which is pretty unusual for me in any drawing to get anyone's likeness. I'm not particularly good at it. Gather workshops are a great place to do sketchnoting because the subjects are so interesting and varied. When I went into this Gather workshop series, I had decided on a style, mostly because that's all the pens I had in my bag, I think, because who would normally pair these colours together, but because it's consistent across a number of sketch notes, it kind of works. Sometimes I run out of steam. I think I was planning to colour that big Facebook logo blue in the background and didn't in the end. Here's a couple of my lovely little stick figures. They're quite expressive when done properly, and their little legs and arms are fabulous.